week's end.
Today, we're going to do a tournament-style elimination. You and me are going to discuss our childhood video game crushes. The characters who captivated us as children. Video game vixens. The characters who captivated us as children.
Fatales?
The femme fatales themselves, my friend. So, I have not told Dre about this. I have not told him the characters that I have put on the list. I picked some of our personal favorites. I picked some big favorites of the industry as well. If I don't happen to have one of your personal favorites on the list, I do apologize. Please comment down below who you think we missed out on and who should have been here, because there are a lot of people who could have made this list. And
maybe we'll do a round two.
Maybe we will do a round two.
Championships.
Vote down below. That's it. Yeah, we'll take our champion from here and bring them on to another bracket and see who wins that one. Vote down below if you think we missed anybody, and also comment down below and think how we did on this elimination challenge. Now, Dre, I picked out, like I said, some femme fatales from our childhood. I think some characters that we have some personal bond with, maybe some between you, some between me. This is our personal list, people. So, and we're going to eliminate one bracket style, tournament style. They're going to go down as we go on. I put all the names into a random placement generator, so where they're placed is completely random. And here is our list. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Oh,
all right.
Man.
This is our list, my friend. So on our left side of the bracket, again in random order, we have Tifa Lockhart versus Lara Croft. We have Princess Zelda versus Chun-Li. We have Miranda Larson versus Ada Wong. We have Claire Redfield versus Cortana. And on the right side of our bracket, we have Liara Tassoni versus Samus. We have Triss Merigold versus Sonya Blade.
Wow.
We have Bastila versus Yennefer. And then we have Aerith versus Princess Peach. Some classic characters, some a little bit newer, but all from our younger years and all from our youth. So we're going to take this one at a time. We're going to go start on the left side of the bracket, go straight down, go to the right side, and then each winner will face off until we have only one left standing. Are you ready, my friend?
I'm ready, man. This is
he is flabbergasted.
I'm just looking at the names. A lot of these are going to be some tough challenges and tough picks here.
Some tough picks right here. Some fun femme fatales. So we're going to start off with our left side of the bracket, tell a little bit of history of how we know our characters and their why we have a little bit of an affinity for them. So we have Tifa Lockhart, first seen in Final Fantasy VII, and we're talking back in the old school days. The remake was very, very good. The remake was fun, a little dragged out. They made it I get that they were trying to get everybody a bang for their buck, but we're talking old school. We're talking the original Tifa Lockhart, the original Final Fantasy VII. What was your first experience with Tifa?
Was Final Fantasy, obviously the first original Final Fantasy VII with the triple discs or 4 discs and that big PlayStation case, and she was that beginning love interest for Cloud. You meet her early on with Barrett. She's already part of that whole thing. Obviously her get up and her character's look and everything was something to be looked at back in the day, and she was a very powerful character even in the game herself. She did a lot of melee damage. But
pure fighter, pure brawler fighter.
Yeah, I mean she was one of the main in terms of a game that started with love interests, and this is going to be a hard one. And now you put her against the Queen Bee herself, Lara Croft.
Again, randomized Lara Croft. My first experience was Tomb Raider 1.
Tomb Raider,
back in the old days. I was
she was all squared out.
Well, that square chest was something to behold. It got some young boys' attention back then.
This is such a hard one to pick.
It was such a fantastic game. See, as an Indiana Jones fan and lover personally, one of my favorite characters in all of cinema, in all of any kind of medium whatsoever. Playing as Lara Croft that very first time was the game that gave me that first feeling of being an adventurer, a true as the title says, a true Tomb Raider.
Yes.
It was kind of funny fight, shooting the Tyrannosaurus and doing all that stuff. I still remember that
The
intro.
wolves. You couldn't get past the
the
first
wolves,
level, bro. Are you kidding me?
walking
I
through the
barely.
mansion in the beginning of the
What?
game and tricking the
Oh my
butler and going
God.
into the freezer,
Freezer.
and jumping out into the walk-in box.
It was a hard
Great.
game.
It was a hard game
a
back then.
hard
And you
game
had
back
that not tank control, slight tank control movement. She turned in very awkward manners.
It's like Resident Evil movement with the camera changed on you.
How cool was that,
Yes.
man? Dueling guns.
The shooting, the jumping.
Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider. We have to talk about that. Those are good movies. We have to bring that up one day. But
That's another
for right
one.
now, we're just talking about the old video game characters. We're in our first.
What do we?
year.
How do we even?
So the rules of the tournament is you and me. We have to agree. So this is not you and me arguing merit on who's going to win who. This is not a versus. We have to agree who is going to advance to the next round.
Oof.
So we have to make our arguments now. So between Tifa and Lara Croft, this is a hard one, sir. I will place my vote into the Tifa Lockhart.
Wow.
That adventure, that long adventure, that storyline with her father and Cloud. Spoiler alerts, light spoilers for all these characters, nothing too deep and heavy. We're not going to ruin anything, big plot points for you, but her character arc, her sad character arc, going through that adventure with her every step of the way from the start to the end. That adventure with Tifa is just something I'll never forget. Final Fantasy VII is just one of my favorite games ever.
Was she your love interest?
No. My Final Fantasy love interest is on this board.
I know.
But it was not Tifa. No, it was not.
I know. But
Tifa to me was never a love interest. I always looked at Tifa as like the little sister character, the one that you looked after, the one that kind of crushed on you because, let's face it, all Final Fantasy VII characters love to give you that power trip, and they have everybody crushing on you, especially in 7. But I always kind of looked at her as the little sister. I never really looked at her as kind of like a crush or a love interest, but just pure character to character between her and Lara Croft, I have to give the edge to
Here's the only one I'm debating when it comes to that is Laura has had a plethora of video games, movies, characters.
Yes.
She is the character that brought female characters, I feel like, to the forefront in terms of even single player campaigns, being able to play as a female character, a strong female lead is no less like that. And then you have Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3 remakes, movies, toys,
the remakes
statues.
the remakes were really good. They followed like very much an Uncharted kind of feel, the remakes were good. The movies were great. Yeah. If you have
I give her a strong edge because
you're giving Laura the edge.
She's got the dynasty. She's made movies. Her character as a character has done more. All we see in Tifa is Final Fantasy VII. She wasn't in 8. Really, not 9, not 10. No other really Final Fantasies, right?
Final Fantasy 7, and then like some pop-up things, but they're not really canon.
She was in the movie, the Final Fantasy VII movie that they made. But she wasn't really. Ooh, that's a tough one. I want to give it to Laura. I want to give it to Laura just because.
You convinced me. We are going. This is going to piss a lot of people off. We are going to give the win.
We gotta give it to Lara
Croft.
Yes.
All right. Second round. Well, not second round. Second bracket. Let's go. All right. We have Princess Zelda, classic character, versus Street Fighter's own Chun-Li. Ooh. So I'm going to tell you a little background about me with the Zelda series. I will never forget the first time I had it was actually a Game Boy. Putting in A Link to the Past was my first experience with the Zelda game. Playing as Link, but I will be honest, I have zero affinity for Princess Zelda. Could take her or leave her. She is more of a catalyst that ever sparked anything. Like another one on this list, she's just in my opinion, the princess in the castle.
Yes.
What was your feelings?
That's probably like in terms of that kind of character. I mean, she's also. I mean, all the Zelda games are named after Zelda. They're not called Link. right?
A lot of people thought you were playing as
You're
Zelda. A lot of
You
people
thought,
back then
especially in the
that
first
character.
the original Nintendo game, it's Zelda. Bam, 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 right? And it goes down, and you got to walk in. You get the first little wooden sword, right? And then you get Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo, right?
Personal fave.
You know, the light world, the dark world, you know, stuff like that. But her character, I feel like, okay, Nintendo 64, we developed a little bit more, right? We saw her as little young Zelda, and then when you become older in Ocarina of Time, what happens? She's an older princess now, a little bit more happening. But to put her up against Chun-Li it's almost...
It's unfair?
It's unfair. She would have had a better... Maybe she would... It would have been a competitor against maybe poor Princess Peach.
No, it's all random. This was all
Chun-Li is taking that. Chun-Li is taking that.
Tell us your first experience with Chun-Li.
I mean, it's Street Fighter. It's
Street Fighter 1, 2. Do you remember your first
the original Street Fighter? Was it Street Fighter 3?
No, mine was
Street Fighter 2, Ultimate or something like
games.
that. Oh, the arcade.
Cabinet.
I played it for Super
Street
Nintendo.
Fighter
Was the
2
first
in the
time I played.
arcades. Ah, that was such a great time. Great, strong female character. Though that flipping kick, that tornado. Oh,
She's
man.
got the fast feet.
Badass character.
She's got.
All right. Well, I think this one was a little bit easier than our first team up, than our first matchup. So
yes,
Chun-Li
is
bye Princess Zelda, and Chun-Li gets the victory.
Yes. Here, this is a little bit of a tough one.
So now, just to pitch out everybody, if they don't know who these people are, Miranda Lawson from Mass Effect 2, arguably the greatest game in the series. Really not arguably, probably, really the greatest game of the series, versus Ada Wong of Resident Evil 2 fame. My first experience with Mass Effect 2, I've played that game so many times.
Yes.
Miranda is actually a fascinating character. I did not like her my first time playing the game. I really thought she was a Cerberus pawn. I really didn't like her character, didn't trust her, didn't trust the elusive man whatsoever. But, on multiple replays, she's a badass character. Without her, Shepard would have never been brought back. She was in charge of the project that brought you back. And I really grew to trust her. The more I play the games, I really keep her in my party a lot. Miranda is a badass. She's got that badass seal of approval in more ways than one.
No, exactly. She has assets in terms of that, just like Chun-Li. But
this is a hard one.
But Ada Wong
from Resident Evil 2.
See, here's the problem with that one is she's
such a great character. Elusive, comes in, pops in and out of the story, saves your ass. You think she dies, then she pops up at the... Well, see, I said no spoilers, and I'm talking spoilers, but we're talking about old games.
It's Resident Evil 2.
You know this by now, even though there's a remake. Everybody play the remake, one of the greatest remakes ever.
Great games.
But I adore Ada Wong's character. I think she's a complete badass, cool espionage style character.
They're very similar. This is the problem with Wong and Lawrence, is they're very similar in attitude. They're very similar in their personalities and being like the way they kind of are like that.
That's a good matchup.
It's honestly, this is the toughest matchup, because if you look at both characters,
this is a tough matchup. Yep.
They are the two that are the most tough, fierce. They're Miranda. She's a toughie, because even when I played Mass Effect 2, because I didn't trust her at first, but then I was a pro Cerberus guy, right? Pro Illuminated man and stuff like that, because humanity must rise and become all that, and you had to deal with that dynamic, and but Ada Wong helped you out a lot in Resident Evil, especially if you played Leon. Felt like there was always some type of thing going on there.
Oh yes. She would string poor Leon along. Yeah, she knew how to wrap that boy around her finger.
That's a tough one, man. I wanna.
I'll pitch this in your corner first. Where would your vote go? I don't want to sway you with mine.
I might have to go with, in terms of personal opinion that I've had more things with, I would say
this is purely
Miranda.
our opinion.
Yeah,
This is
Miranda,
our
because
list.
I played more Mass Effect 2. She was constantly a part of that story, a part of that. But yeah, we'll just stick with Miss Lawson.
Miranda takes the win.
Yep.
All right, our fourth matchup. Are you ready?
This
one's gonna be the hard. This one's gonna. I think it's
because it's a real character versus a robot.
Well, let's pitch the characters
simulational.
first. We have Claire Redfield, another character from Resident Evil 2 fame, back to back.
Yep.
Fantastic character. My first experience loading up that disc. I will not lie, even though it's supposed to be canon that you play as Claire first. When I was younger and I saw those two loaded discs, I saw Leon, I saw the cop on that disc, and I was like, I'd say that's the first one I play at. Even to this day, I tend to play as Leon first.
Yes.
But I love Claire Redfield as a character. Badass, goes into the middle of a zombie apocalypse looking for her brother, shows no fear, has the better guns in the game.
Had more inventory space.
Had more inventory space. The whole thing with Shelley and Dr. Birkin. I mean, her character arc, I adore Claire Redfield. I think she's fantastic. But, and I will pitch this back to you, I'm just introducing the characters, but I loved the Halo trilogy and Cortana. That not only, we're not even, that voice in your head, the way she spoke to Chief, their dynamic, their banter back and forth. Some of her lines of it gives me chills just hearing her voice whispering into the back of Chief's head. I don't want to get into again spoilers, but Cortana is such an amazing character. An amazing character. I will pitch it back to you. What was your first experience with Miss Claire Redfield?
Well, yeah, same thing. Resident Evil 2 for the PlayStation. Same thing. Didn't really play as her as much, but she was a great character in that game. Jumped in a bunch of times.
Code Veronica, badass game. I don't know if you ever got to play Code Veronica.
Got to play it a little bit, not that much.
Intro where they're all facing in her in the front and the helicopter's behind, and she drops her gun, but then drops to the ground right before it hits the ground and shoots. Oh, what a great intro.
This is a tough one because Claire at least is real. Cortana is basically a voice slash.
Well, if we're arguing what's real here,
I mean, yes, in terms of the characters, right? Tifa is in her world is flesh and blood, right?
Cortana
most of them,
not. She's just an AI voice.
She's an AI voice that eventually shows up as a blue lady.
Yes.
Right. In Master Chief's helmet for most of it, right?
Oh, she's pretty much right away.
It's a hologram,
and then he plugs her into the back of her head.
Now,
I think she's a fantastic character.
She is a fantastic character, but greatest
for her
childhood crush. It had to be. It was.
We're going. With
Claire? Go with Claire because I also don't want to knock out another Resident Evil, and I think Claire can make it at least to the next round. Cortana. Great voice, great everything else, but this is greatest female childhood crushes. It's a hologram, I would say. So I don't know. That's a bit. We'll leave it. We'll leave it at. This is maybe through another time, another day, where I would have picked differently. But right now, it's Miss Redfield herself.
All right, very cool. All right, now we're gonna take it over to the right side of our bracket. You ready? We're halfway. Well, we're halfway done in the beginning. We got a personal favorite, Liara Tassoni, also of Mass Effect fame, 1, 2, and 3. And in the trailer for the new game that, well, we'll see if it ever sees the light of day, versus a old school legend in games, Samus of Metroid. An amazing character, complete badass. In the OG game, you didn't even know you were playing as a femme fatale, and that legendary ending where the armor strips off and you realize you're just playing as this badass female character was an amazing moment in games, feeling like that alien, kind of feeling like that Ripley-esque kind of character, stuck on this derelict area, alien ship, trying to shoot your way out, power mech suit, badass character. two amazing characters. This one, I don't know, is going to be as
not even going to be hard. I'm going to say that right
this
now.
This is going to piss off.
I'm a biased person on one side of that one.
Please tell everybody about the first.
It was going to be Mass Effect 1, meeting Liara Tassoni's character for the first thing.
Stuck in that blue beam. Stuck in that blue force field.
The character development, the dialogue, her character development, her dialogue, the innocence when she first starts, going on that planet, taking her around, and all depending on what time did you pick her up. You picked her up as the first mission out of the 3 planets or the third mission. It all depended how the dialogue went, how long she was staying in stasis. Yes.
I don't think I ever waited long. I think I always got her pretty quickly. Interesting.
Yeah, so it's if you wait, she kind of even throws out like what took you so long kind of situation. Obviously, in the Mass Effect game, she is the love interest, right? You have Ashley and you have then Liara Tassoni.
If we're going from game 1 to 3,
yes,
they both disappear.
And then I think in lore.
But besides for a DLC, she's pretty much absent. Both of them are absent in game 2.
Yes, completely.
If we're talking about lore accurate, I would have to agree with you.
But
I think she has
second game. They did add the Shadow.
The DLC.
Broker.
It was a DLC, so you had to pay for it unless you got legendary editions and all that. The legendary edition that's out for PC, I highly recommend it. The entire bundle all comes together. 1, 2, and 3. We got to get this man to play it. I know he's already put a lot of time in Mass Effect, but he's got to.
I probably played 9 or 10 times.
He's got to put that on his stream. It's got to be up there for.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to. We'll try to do Mass Effect.
Documented on the internet forever. But
since Samus again from Nintendo, playing Nintendo, not knowing she was a female character until for me, it was the Nintendo 64 version of that
Metroid?
game. Yeah. Metroid
64. Finally, 64. That was a great game.
Impressive.
No,
I mean, the world development, her character development. But again, crushes for me. It's not even a no-brainer. It's to Sony. Sony probably, I don't want to predict it now, but it might be for me. It's Sony all the way to the finals, baby. But we'll see.
We shall see. Let's take it to our next round. We have Witcher fame Triss Merigold versus from Mortal Kombat Sonya Blade. But oh, what a fantastic matchup we have right here. We have one of the OGs of gaming versus one of the most explosive female characters ever. Playboy magazines. I mean, this girl was everywhere when Witcher 2 and 3 were coming out. It was insanity. Yeah. She was treated almost like a real person. I was very much a Triss Merigold fan. During the Witcher 2 days, she was an absolute fantastic character.
This is where it gets tough because
Sonya Blade, OG, and I am a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I love the newer games.
And she's had her movies, but now I don't know.
Come on, Mortal Kombat, the OG '90s Mortal Kombat. I got to look up the actress's name. I'll pop it up. That Sonya Blade, she was fantastic. From Billy Madison, I forgot the actress's name. She was fantastic as Sonya Blade. Great movie. But please, tell me what you're thinking about this matchup.
All right, well, first time meeting Trish, I played The Witcher 2 for PC. I remember it was the first time I got into the Witcher games, in the Witcher series, and before you only thing in The Witcher 2 you hear is Yennefer Venderberg.
You hear Yennefer, you never meet her.
But you never meet her, right? And then here's Trish's character. Now again, love interest. If you wanted to go into love interest of her as the game went, how was her character development when you ran into her in The Witcher 2? Even in The Witcher 3, I feel like they did Trish better in The Witcher 2 than they did The Witcher 3. The way her character looked, for some odd reason, a little more of a different arc, I feel like, in that second game to the third game.
When she went missing at the, again, spoilers, the second game, though, it's an old game. I spent so much time to make sure I found her.
I mean, you have the elven bath scene with her and Geralt. I mean, that's a tough one. Sonya Blade is the killer's killer, right? She's the killer's killer. She is Mortal Kombat. Just Hadouken, all that fun stuff, right? But
brawler, that fatality where she kisses you, sucks your bones out, spits them out.
Yes, but again, we're going based on the greatest female childhood video game crushes. It's not based on this is the most bad character or this is the most this.
Nope,
So
this
for
is
me,
our
it's
list.
back then watching Sonya is a big X. Yeah, that's not even. It's Trish the Dish.
Trish the Dish. All right, second to last matchup. Are you ready?
Yes.
So we have Bastila Sean from KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, versus another Witcher famed character, Yennefer. Finally introduced in The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt, but mentioned very, very heavily in the rest of the games. And as a big fan of the book series, I know the this just truth be told between you and me, I have no love for Yennefer whatsoever. I actually purely dislike her character. On the other hand,
she is okay. It's interesting.
I will just say my little 2 senses, and I will rub those together, and I will pitch it. But I will never forget my first experience with KOTOR, waking up on that ship, not remembering who I was, and meeting Bastila for the very, very first time. An amazing counselor character, an amazing Jedi. To this day, probably my first video game crush was Bastila. I will have to say it was the first time ever playing a video game where I looked at
the voice acting, when she's getting tortured by Malik, and you gotta the whole Revan story. There is no Revan story without Bastila. There is no redemption story without Bastila. She is
it's a redemption story.
If you do that, but the canon I think was
hand in hand in the end and rule the Empire together.
That's a tough one. And then Yen is I mean, you don't like Yen. She's a tough cookie. First game, she's a little bit more involved. Yen, you do have her in the first game. Second game, there's none. And the third game, she's a little more dead, right? But that's her character. She is kind of that gothy, dark, morbid character, right? She's able to bring people back from the dead. She uses more of the dark magic. She's got the dark hair and the I believe the purple eyes, like black hair. Everything is black on her, pale, super pale white skin, right? She is a dangerous cookie. If you watch those cinematics of that third game, she is a vicious. But yes, you kind of feel bad for Geralt. Geralt's Yen. And then Yen's like, whatever. But we don't know. I mean, he rode Marigold. But he rode the unicorn. That's what it is, brother. It's the unicorn.
That stuffed unicorn went a long way. Okay, but because of what a love interest Triss was in Witcher 2, when I loaded Witcher 3, and that forced me to be I was almost turned off. I was like, what's going on here?
That's the...
And it took hours to find her. And then when you do, it's almost like she's a buddy. It was... It
was a bit strange. I don't know if they did that with the game, and that's just how the game kind of felt with that. Yes, Bastila is... When I first played KOTOR, and I was like, CJ, you got to try this game. Let's rock KOTOR. And I told you, yes, she was the first character-wise, development-wise, dialogue-wise. This is when BioWare was doing dialogue games right. They did story games right. They were doing everything right. The closest thing you have to Bastila is Mr. Sony in terms of that, right? The way the characters develop. Bastila's a little more hard and tough, more, older mindset, where to Sony at first starts kind of lovey-dovey light. Yennefer is just... She's business. She is a sorceress. She is business. She's with Nilfgaard. She's business. But crush-wise, yes, Bastila Sean is number one in terms of this. 100%. Sorry, Miss Yennefer Venderberg. You're just too cold.
Just did not make the cut. My apologies. And this is the final leg, the final round of the single elimination. Are you ready? I don't think this one's going to be a hard one.
This is not even a no-brainer.
Let's still do the characters some justice. Let's just do a little short intro. We have Aerith. Argument about how her name is pronounced. Some people say Aerith. Some people say other things, but it is Aerith.
Yeah, Ares. Put the S there. I don't know.
Fantastic character. Final Fantasy VII fame as Tifa. That intro, her sitting there, that music playing, those green little sparks popping off, it was truly amazing. From that very first moment, seeing her grabbing those basket of flowers to falling through her church, landing there, seeing that music, her theme, everything about the character. Spoiler alert, I guess. If you don't know this by now, I don't know why you're even watching this, but that scene when Sephiroth falls down.
I remember when I first played that on PlayStation, I was not ready as a young person watching her die. She just looks up at you after holding that, and you just see Sephiroth come down with the sword right through. She just kind of does that. You know, the graphics weren't great. Drops the materia. This was called materia, right? And a famous, powerful one that everybody was like, "Oh, we want it." But no, that was probably the strongest intro. And then let's just jump to Peach. Peach is Peach.
We got Princess Peach.
You played Nintendo. You find out she actually never liked Mario.
Princess is in another castle.
I hate to say it.
Mario.
Yeah, from what I heard later on. From what I heard later on, they were never a love interest. So this is not even. This is. I hate to say this is like quick, cut and dry. This is
a quick one.
That's a quick one.
Sorry,
Peach didn't even have a chance. It's like Zelda.
Peach.
Yeah, Zelda Peach, no chance on that in terms of crushes.
We're quickly off to round 2. Are you ready? We have Lara Croft versus Chun-Li. Now, we already did all our intros for the characters.
Yeah, and I'm going to give it to... I'm still going to give it to Lara.
Lara?
I think because of her longevity as a character, more games, more movies, more merchandise, more everything. She's just the female character. Chun-Li is just one of many characters, right? Street Fighter is Ryu, Ken, Guile. There's a lot of characters. Cammy. There's a bunch of other characters. Chun-Li is a great character, but never had her own standalone anything. Lara is a video game, PlayStation
just one horrible movie.
Goddess. Yes. And now Miranda versus Redfield. Miranda. This one is easy too. I think Claire, you get as far as you could go, but I don't know if I would put Claire as like the little sister. She's not childhood crush. She's the little sister. So Miranda, I would say, pushes forward to this one. Now here's a tough one, and
take a pause to think about this.
Yeah, this one. I have to still. The right side is the worst side. That's the Gambit side. That's the side right now that all 4 of these are literally, I would even say, about all 4 of them really had an impact in terms of gaming when I was a younger man. Aerith playing Final Fantasy VII. Bastila, Knights of the Old Republic around the same time. Liara Tassoni, Mass Effect 2, made me love the Mass Effect series. Trish Marigold got me into The Witcher 2. I actually played it multiple times because I thought that was such a great dynamic there. So this is hard. Liara Tassoni versus Trish Marigold. And I'm only going to say this because Tassoni I felt more connected to the character through dialogue and the options of how you could dialogue with her, right? The second game kind of pisses you off with her a little bit, I will say. Liara in the second game a little bit. She becomes a shadow broker. It's like it's kind of like, for me it reminds me of
it's the whole dark.
It is, but she's what's that movie now? The guy with Star-Lord and Gamora. It feels like a weird Gamora thing. Like Gamora's not. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. It doesn't feel like Liara's the old Liara we left in the first game. It's already been years. She became a shadow broker. She's darkened. She's been through some stuff. She kind of remembers Shepard, but it's like, okay, Shepard.
Are you even the real you, Shepard?
Yeah, or you died. Yeah. Spoiler, you died, and now you're working with Cerberus, which is an all-human.
Greatest intro to a video game.
I mean, it's that's a long. I could talk about Tassoni for a while.
Now, the only reason, just explain to the audience why I'm crossing out, is because I'm agreeing with everything Dre's saying. So that's a quick cross out for me. And then that's a hard one because I love Triss as well.
This is the hard one.
And the one after,
and whoever comes after this is even harder. These are the champions here, right? Bastila, Aerith, and Tassoni. Who had the bigger impact? When I was really young, Aerith. Her death.
Ooh.
Yes, when I was young, I played Final Fantasy VII before I played Knights of the Old Republic. And I think by many years, Republic did not come out until, I want to say around the time of the Xbox, PlayStation 2. I want to say already. So it was many years later. Who had the bigger impact? Bastila, it was the full dialogue, being able to hear a voice, the torture scene, the redemption story, this and that. Aerith was, this is the girl you crushed on in the game. You could have got with her unless you did certain right things, especially at the roller coaster area when you meet Kate Sith and you have to go through the roller coaster and she magically comes back into your room. But her death is the one of the most times I ever dropped a controller as a young person. I want to say I have to remember what year, maybe 96,
early
97,
teenager, yeah.
94. I probably was 9, 10, whatever years old, 11 years old, right,
Yeah.
for Aerith. That, I'm telling you, Aerith's death was like, messed me up there. I stopped playing for a little while after that because like I lost, first off, a cool character that I liked. Was getting into, yes, I had to read all the dialogue and I wasn't good trying to sit there. Sometimes I would spam through the dialogue. It was so much to read.
The game was so captivating that
it was.
The motion
now,
itself. And
we are going to go with, on this one, I have to, it's the
I'll let you know if I agree. I'll let you know. I will leave you to call yours first.
Yeah, the toughest of the tough that actually made a big difference is still going to be Bastila.
Ooh,
as the crush.
I agree.
Yeah, because it was the character you said crush, right? The whole thing is crush.
Crush. This is a hard one.
Yes, I crushed on Aerith in terms of her character, that beauty, right? Like you said,
you're gonna make me put an X through her. Like
that's a tough one. Like I said, no matter which one you pick, even if you say Aerith to the next round, they both are going to have the hardest time against, for my favorite, obviously, is going to be Sony. But that's because later on in the years, I was older when I played. So I had more understanding, I want to say, of the crush part of video games or female characters in terms of that. So Aerith, as I said, has the most devastating death. Bastila was the most...
do this.
I mean, regardless of which one I would take Aerith, but you're still gonna have to cross out Bastila, and Bastila is a hard cross out, right? Bastila is a hard cross out. They both would have been great, even if you put both of them at second place here. But we'll go on to the other side before we go back to the championship round here, right?
This is the final round. Well, this is the this is the semifinals to see who will make it to the final.
So Miranda versus ready? Laura. I'm still gonna Laura. Still gonna take Laura on this. Yep. She's just
character.
Yeah, she is, and she had movies. So I mean, and you were her in a sense. Now Bastila versus Liara. I'm gonna take Liara because she was the more developed character later when I already was playing these games by the Xbox 360. I'm way older. Her dialogue and character development meant a lot more than even it did for Bastila. Even though Bastila has some of the most greatest dialogue lines in terms of that, and again the torture scene with her, and you gotta make a decision to let her keep getting tortured by Malik and everything. But a 3-movie trilogy, even though you need a DLC to play her in the second game, if you were a true shepherd and you went from the first game, skipped all the love interest in the second game.
Oh yes, absolutely.
You have to
photos on your desk the whole time.
There was a whole different thing, and Mass Effect 3. That's just the end of Mass Effect 3 at the end.
When you run down the hill at the end, every other character just gets pulled away. Liara is the only one, I believe. Comment below if I'm wrong, but I believe she's the only one that has one little extra line. Yeah. You know what the extra line is?
I'm yours.
I'm yours. Oh, Bastila.
Yeah, Bastila's a hard one. Because she's a Jedi. It took her a while to break and confess her love to you. So I have to go with Liara, who kind of did it early on. And then Lara Croft versus Sona.
We have our final.
Now
I love
Lara Croft, but again, loving it's the LT all day. It's to Sony. I'll do it's to Sony 1,000 times in 1,000 different universes in terms of that. The best character developed for a video game in Mass Effect. And they could have done so much more. Even let's say they did. That should have been, the Shadow Broker should have already been put into number 3 because it really made us feel who put all that time and energy into Sony. Now I will say in the first game I did let what's his name die, Caden die, because I felt bad for Ashley. Just couldn't let Ashley die, right? But in terms of that, no, to Sony, her character, her dialogue, the innocence in the first one, seeing her develop by the second one and by the third one, and even at the end, let's just say you mess up and you Reapers still win. She's the only one at the end of the secret ending that you can have that's in a hologram saying we failed and the Reapers have won, but this is what it is. You know, that's a tough one, and it's that ending of yours. To Liara, to Sony. We gotta put a picture of her everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
To Sony, Manoni,
There we go. Big old celebration, whistles and bandwagons.